I got like 10 minutes. All right. We're cool. What is it? Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta subscribe to that though, right? Oh, okay. Is it? Because we're free suckles. We're the we're the sluts of the veteran community. We give it away for free. We ain't gonna charge you for that shit. We guys gonna suck you guys off. I just I just I just want people knowing what they're getting into. You know, just let's just nah, yeah, yeah. It's I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a bait. It's gonna be a bait and switch. You know what I mean? Like we're not really gonna suck you guys off. Hand yeah. Who was it? I for, yeah. Oh my god. Mine are like way too long stories, but uh, yeah, basically like fate intervened both times, like the army. Like the first time I was all set to join the Navy actually. Like I had everything done. I was going to MEPS with those dudes like that weekend because I was gonna do like they suckered me in with nuclear uh their nuke program or whatever, where you go to school for like 2 years and get to basically spend the rest of your career on a sub or a fucking aircraft carrier. But it sounded cool. Like they sold me on it, and then I was about to walk in there like one day to like turn in some paperwork, and the army recruiter like intercepted me because like I'd been in and out with the army guys for like years, like since high school. So this is like after I dropped out and I dropped out of college, and so yeah, I was about to walk into the recruiting station, and the army guy like interjected and was like, he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Oh, you with them?" He's like, "My bad, man. I didn't know they already had you, so I'll let you go." And I was like, "Well, I'll hear your spiel like one more time." And sure enough, man, they he got me in that like suckered me in that time. And then what's that? Yeah, exactly. And then the second time, I'd gotten out of the army after my first stint, and I was trying to get back in after I had run afoul with the law, and the recruiter in my area didn't want to like touch me. Like I was like I read through all the regulations and everything, and I was like, look, man, like I'm good to come back in. Like there's no reason why not. Not to mention this is like the surge in like 2005, and so like Yeah, and this dude still would not like. He just didn't want to do like the all the waiver paperwork. I'm sure that would have to go with it. So I'd pretty much given up hope, and I was walking through this mall in Austin, Texas, in a like which was in like another recruiting district, and I was wearing a GI Joe T-shirt, oddly enough, with Duke that said "Knowing is half the battle," and then these two army like recruiters saw me, and they're like, "Hey man, you interested in being a real GI Joe?" And then I was like, "Huh, funny you should say that." And I explained like my whole history, and the one guy was like, "Nah, man." He's like, "That ain't gonna hold you up." He's like, "Here's my card. Give me a call. Come see me. Like, tomorrow." And sure enough, man, he got yeah, got me ready. Yeah, and yeah. um, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I joined the army, right? Like, I got physically strong and mentally strong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I hope to get out of it, basically, like, out of where I was at in life at that point. So again, worked both times. Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. MEPS. First time was like pretty typical of a MEPS experience, I'm sure. Yeah, y- yeah. So I remember there like the odd thing that happened the first time in MEPS was so this is like pre-war, right? It's like June 2001, and we're yeah still in MEPS, haven't gone over the tracks yet to basic, and we had just gotten our haircuts that day, and I think like our clothing issued, and so somehow this guy just went absolutely like bonkers like that night, and like in the middle of the night he like flips on the lights and he's like, "Come on, guys, we're going to war," and he's like, yeah, like, and like he'd already like, so he'd already taken his like face razor and like started like shaving to the skin on his head, but he'd only done like half of it. He'd only done half of it, right? And like not even very good. You know what I mean? It was just like all over the place. And then so he's like going absolutely bananas, like, "Come on, guys, we go to war now. Let's go, get up." Like we're just all like, "What the fuck?" Luckily, at the in the same barracks there was guys that had done their reservists or National Guard guys that had done their split thing, so they did their basic training and then they were back that summer for like their AIT, and so like they had like a little more experience, so they ended up like kind of capturing that guy down and like getting a hold of the drill sergeant, and they whisked him off, man, and then we just would see him every now and then when we walked by clinics like as he was waiting to get out processed for being nutso. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was. Yeah, exactly. I Yeah, no, I wasn't too weird. I was like 21 by that point, and like, I mean, yeah, I wasn't. It wasn't. Dude, I just wanted to get the basic training because like they couldn't smoke you yet, because they didn't want to like fuck you up before you went over. It's so, dude. I was just like, I like the anticipation of that like pain and suffering that was gonna come was like worse than actually being in basic training, getting smoked and all that shit. I was just like, I just I remember when we got our shit. We get in the cattle cars, we go over to CIF, draw our equipment, and then we get to the barracks, and they're like, as soon as they were like having you lay out your stuff, which you know you're never gonna get right the first time, and they're just like smoking you, and then they're just like grab your bags and get in your barracks, and like I remember getting into my barracks and like everybody's like already getting smoked as you're getting in there, and then like I just remember like getting down and doing push-ups, and I was like, thank God, like like I was so relieved at that point, like okay, this is it, finally, like we're it started. Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, my battle buddy next to me was like crying. He's like, oh. I'm like, I'm just like, oh, this is great. This is the best. This is what I've wanted. Yeah. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I skip. I skip. Yeah, man, I got my bad. I got mixed up on MEPS and uh, reception. Yeah. So yeah, the crazy guy was reception. MEPS. Yeah, yeah. The crazy guy was MEPS, or I mean, the crazy guy was reception. So MEPS, man. Uh, no, that was pretty much it. I remember like when the day we all got haircuts, like at first like you'd like already kind of like known people, like you knew like you kind of like knew like I remember making like a couple friends or whatever, and then like we all got haircuts, and I was like, "Fuck, where'd they go?" Like, and I remember like me and this dude Chicken Eddie became like fast friends because like we both like just kind of looked at each other, and he was like Morris, and I was like Chicken Eddie, and he was like, "All right, cool." Like, like he was he was the only friend that surely lasted through the haircuts. Like, yeah, sausage heads. No, no, none that I remember. Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. For some reason yeah, but I remember too like when the dude's like inspecting your bung piece, and he was like, and I remember him being like, bend over and spread your cheeks, and like I remember spreading my cheeks as I bent over, and he's like, no, I told you bend over then spread your cheeks. It's like, does that really interfere with like the dilation of my butthole or what? Like, yeah. Oh no, no, it's all good. who, who also who 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 the And coincidentally, Chris's middle school teacher had also seen his butthole.